Hi everyone and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. In case this is your first time watching one of my videos, hi, I'm Leslie. I'm so glad to have you here. On my channel I talk about all things luxury, in particular handbags, but I cover a wide range of topics. I film unboxings, reviews, I adore filming travel vlogs. I'm currently in China, it's like the last stretch of my China trip. There's a whole playlist of China vlogs, so I'm going to link that up here on the other corner as well as in the description box. Shopping vlogs and all that good stuff, so if any of that sounds like a thing, I would love for you to consider subscribing. So today's going to be such a fun vlog, so I just went into, don't know how to pronounce it, it's called, or like it's spelled ZZER warehouse. I was like, how big can it be? It's massive. The selection is insane. The prices are actually quite good. I did film a lot. They didn't mind me filming at all. So let's check out some bags and jewelry and all the good stuff. They had everything and every brand under the rainbow.
Dear customers, welcome to ZZER. All items in our store are signed by individual sellers. You can use our app to scan the QR code and check real-time prices. Each product is independently priced by the seller. Thank you for your visit. We wish you a delightful experience with us.
Alright, so I've since learned that the consignment warehouse is supposed to be pronounced ZZER warehouse, but it's spelled out like ZZER or ZZER, depending. But yeah, it's not overly centrally located in Shanghai, which kind of makes sense, but it's super easy to get there. So either you're going to take the metro, I think it's going to be line 10 that basically takes you right to ZZER warehouse, or you're going to take a Didi, which is, yeah, the Chinese version of Uber, and it's super affordable, especially compared to Uber prices. ZZER warehouse is a little tricky to find because it's located like underground in the hub, which I think is like a shopping mall essentially, right next to Hongqiao airport. I don't think it's the main airport of Shanghai, that's going to be Pudong airport, but still fairly easy and quick to get there. Anyway, so from my understanding, the way ZZER warehouse is operated is that they are a consignment store. What that means is none of the bags are actually owned by ZZER warehouse. They're owned by A, individual sellers, or B, like professional either resellers or like secondhand boutiques that decide to place like part of their stock in ZZER warehouse. Also, like as a result, that means that the prices vary widely because obviously the individual sellers decide on pricing. So in this video, we're going to cover Dior, which you're seeing while I'm talking you through how ZZER warehouse works. Dior, then Celine, Hermès. They had an incredible selection of Hermès pieces. Quota bags, non-quota bags, exotics, regular leathers. It was incredible. Chanel, again, massive selection. Louis Vuitton, incredibly vast in terms of the selection. Also vintage, newer pieces. Bvlgari, they had tons of Gucci. I don't think I included Gucci in this vlog, maybe like a little bit. Fendi, and like towards the end, I'm going to do like a mixed bag of like Saint Laurent, Loewe, Bottega, Issey, Miyake. They had every brand under the rainbow. I wasn't like physically able to cover everything. I did spend a lot of time in ZZER warehouse to begin with, and I only had like a limited period of time in Shanghai. So yeah, I had to limit myself to, I think I spent like 3 hours in ZZER warehouse. I was like a kid in a candy shop. So the way you find out the prices and also like purchase stuff, check out, place in your basket is via either the ZZER warehouse own app or like an app within the WeChat app, and then you scan like a QR code and additional photos and like information on the particular item that you scanned pop up. So super easy to navigate and such a cool concept.
It's calling me.
I forgot to mention, in case you hadn't noticed already, in the top left corner you're gonna find the price converted in euros and USD, at least for all of the bags that I did scan the price for, which I did scan a lot. I wasn't physically able to scan like even half of the bags that I even looked at, because yeah, the selection was so vast, but you kind of had to scan all of the bags that you were like remotely interested in, because as I said, the prices varied widely. Some of the bags were like dead cheap, literally. To be honest, more often than not, while I was looking at the bags, I didn't like fully register how fairly priced they were, because I didn't like always do the conversion in my head from Chinese yuan to euros. But now looking back and looking at the footage, looking up the converted prices, some of those prices were ridiculously low. Even like on Chanel pieces, vintage Chanel in excellent condition, those prices were hard to beat. Even Hermès quota bags, some of those prices were really good.
Honestly, this place keeps on going. So I think I reached the Louis Vuitton section, which chances are is going to be massive. For the most part, they organized their store by brands, which is very helpful. They also have a massive like jewelry section here, both vintage jewelry as well as like more up-to-date jewelry. Actually, the jewelry section is way bigger than what you're seeing behind me. It's insanity, and some of the prices are really good. I think for the most part I have to do like a voiceover because the music is quite loud and copyright and everything. Generally I do prefer to actually like talk while I'm showing you the things, but chances are it won't be possible. Oh, I'm in the Celine section now. And they have tons of belt bags. I might be tempted, depending on the price, obviously, but the luggage totes, is it? Yeah, the luggage totes and the phantoms, those had amazing prices on them. And like, there were tons of classic bags, or box bag, if you will. Okay, I think I'll have to check out some of the prices of the belt bags. I adore mine. It's in the cloud blue, I think it's called. No, Arctic blue. I adore that bag. It's also come with me to China, and it's such an easy grab, like, perfect bag.
One day soon, we got this. One day soon, one day soon, one day soon, one day soon, one day
When it comes to luxury pre-loved shopping in Asia, people are always quick to mention Japan as being like the go-to place. A, because of their strict rules and regulations when it comes to selling like counterfeit goods, but also B, because of the incredible pricing. I hardly hear anyone talk about China though. And based on my experience in ZZER warehouse, but also like outside of the warehouse, there are tons of like individual, like smaller luxury pre-loved boutiques, especially in, you're gonna have to bear with me here. Is it like Middle Huai Road? Middle Huai Road. It's also in Shanghai. I'm going to include the name on the screen. They had tons of like smaller vintage boutiques as well, and their prices were excellent as well. So I'd suggest, if you're interested in luxury handbags, obviously, but chances are you are, because this video has been going on for a couple of minutes already and you're still around. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, give it a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing. But anyway, so if you're interested in luxury pieces and you're planning a trip to China anyway, I'd suggest maybe leaving a little bit of extra room in your carry-on luggage, because you're going to find some amazing deals. Obviously, as always, depending on A, the brand that you're looking at, and B, the style of the bag. Generally, with a couple of exceptions, on discontinued styles, you're usually able to get like better deals. For instance, the Celine Phantom, those had some amazing prices on them. The box, or like the classic bag as well, although that being said, it hasn't been discontinued for that long, but some of those prices were incredible as well. Obviously, which we're going to get to in a couple of minutes, the Chanel pieces. Vintage Chanel just hits different, and some of their prices were really good. Again, really depending on the individual seller and how they decided to price the bag. Also, I mean, it should go without saying, but I did go to ZR warehouse in like mid-November 2024. So it's been a couple of months and prices will have changed, obviously. And like the currency conversion will have changed as well. So yeah, the currency conversions are only for your reference. And the bags that I'm showing you, realistically, some of them will have sold already. But to give you an idea of A, the selection, and B, like the range of prices that we're looking at. Hopefully that's helpful to you. But yeah, I'd say if you're in Shanghai, it's definitely worth them coming to ZR warehouse and maybe coming home with a couple of new pieces. Oh, also, did I mention? I don't think I mentioned already. This video is going to be focused on handbags, but they don't just carry handbags. They carry ready-to-wear, shoes, accessories, bag charms, jewelry. Like they had an insane selection of Chanel earrings and like vintage Chanel jewelry, SLGs, all that good stuff. But yeah, this video is going to be focused on handbags. And given the sheer size of ZR warehouse and the insane selection, even with focusing on just handbags, I had a hard time getting remotely close to covering all of the brands that they did have on offer. As I said, they had basically every brand under the rainbow. Also, a couple more contemporary brands. I think I also saw like a J.W. Anderson section. They had quite the sizable Tory Burch section, a massive section of Coach handbags. But for the purposes of this video, I decided to focus on the top tier luxury brands. Talk about top tier. Hermès, so the brand that you've all been waiting for, or Chanel. I mean, Chanel will follow right after, so hang around in case you're interested in Chanel. But yeah, in case you're not familiar with pre-loved prices on Hermès bags, the quota bags specifically, so Birkins and Kellys, and in some countries, I think Constances are also still considered quota bags. When it comes to the pre-loved market, it is super rare to find Birkins and Kellys below the retail price. Again, definitely like a case-by-case scenario, depending on how the seller decided to like price their bags. Some of the prices on the Birkins and Kellys were really good, considering what they usually go for on the resale market. Also, tons of exotics. I do appreciate that exotics might not hold their value as much as like regular leathers because less people are interested in exotics, but still, I think like on the bags that I decided to check the prices on, some of those prices were really reasonable. And again, massive disclaimer, I fully appreciate that looking at a 12,000 euro handbag, like a used handbag, not even like new from the boutique. Granted, some of the bags' condition were basically like new, but that's not the point. So looking at a bag that's 12,000 euros, for instance, and even thinking about using the word reasonable in the same sentence when referring to the price is ridiculous to everyone that's not into luxury handbags. But if you're into luxury handbags, chances are you will understand that some of the prices that we're seeing here are actually quite good.
Baby, I can believe it. 어케미를 다녀왔어. 하루 종일 all day. 어쩌다인지도 모르게 쓰러졌어. 끌어안게 만져. 끝없이 해마다 다시 chasing you again. 잡힐 듯 스치듯 하다 미끄러져. You make me better than I've ever been. 온종일 너의 곁을 떠나기가 싫어. 어지러운 지금 이 느낌이 좋아. Right now 점점 더 빠져들어가. 내 숨이 차올라. 너의 사랑을 받아. 쓰러지자. No, I can't stop this feeling. Baby, 나는 네가 무슨 생각인지 도저히 모르겠어. No matter what 작은 말조차도 나에겐 fancy해. 끝없이 해마다 다시 chasing you again. 내게 하고 싶은 말. Baby, one more.
I've been here for 2 hours, going on 2.5 hours. It keeps on going, and the Chanel and Hermès section is insane as well. Obviously, they do have tons of Picotins and like non-quota bags, but also like Kelly's, Birkins, exotics as well. Here's like a small-ish Goyard section, and back there is actually Valextra, and I think, look, a couple of Lindy's. I think, oh yeah, the Chanel section is incredibly vast. And so many like very unique pieces that I've never seen before. That may be just like a me problem, but like the variety is incredible. And yeah, here's a Valextra section and there's a Moynat section, which I adore Moynat. They don't have Gabrielle bags though, which my bank account is happy about, but this is insane. This is like, look, it keeps on going, and they have so many, like, as I said, exotics as well. And look at this one. I've never seen this before.
Unsurprisingly, the Chanel section may have been one of my favorites, definitely one of the sections when it comes to like brand specific areas that I spent the most amount of time inside. I just had the best time. Anyway, so as I said, ZZER Warehouse for the most part is organized via brand, which makes it super easy to find and like to navigate. And also within the sections, especially when it comes to like, yeah, sections that are quite sizable in size, they organized it via color for the most part. So at Chanel, for instance, there were rows upon rows of black bags, also tons of classic flaps and everything. I think I filmed like a little bit, but when it comes to pre-loved bags, I think it's way more interesting and fascinating to look at vintage bags or like old season, like seasonal bags, for instance. But I did cover a little bit of like classic flaps as well, and like minis and tons of different colors. But yeah, it's organized via brand and then via color. There are a couple of rows, I think like towards the entrance, that are like new in. For instance, like my understanding would be that like the new in stuff lands there, it's gonna stay there for like a week or so and then get sorted into like the specific areas within ZZER Warehouse, depending on the brand, obviously. And I think there were also a couple of rows of like new sellers. So in case you're a little worried or it's a priority for you to be buying from a reputable seller that has like a track record of selling with ZZER Warehouse, I'd suggest you just like skip out on the new sellers area. In general though, like as I said, you're gonna scan the QR code and as you're seeing on the screen, A, photos pop up, B, obviously the price, which I was most interested in, but also like scroll down and you get like additional information. For the most part, it's gonna be in Chinese, but like just take a screenshot and let it run through like a translator app. Or if you use the ZZER mini app within the WeChat app, I think WeChat has like a translation feature as well. For sure Alipay does, but Alipay doesn't have like a mini app within the app. It's a little confusing if it's your first time in China. It definitely was one of the trips that required me to do a lot of research in terms of like apps to download and like stuff to sort out before I was actually leaving for China. But okay, that's not the point of this video. But anyway, so you scroll down and you're gonna see additional information and also information on the seller. And you can click on the seller, basically like same applies to Vestiaire Collective, for instance. And me personally, I feel a little, I don't know, worried isn't the right term, but like cautious when it comes to purchasing from a seller that doesn't have any track record of selling, and maybe the item that you're looking at, the only piece that the seller is currently selling, I'd be like, maybe I'm gonna look for a different bag from like a seller that has a little bit of a track record, but all depends on like your personal preference and what you feel comfortable with. Anyway, went off on a tangent there again.
One thing I know for sure, what we have is something worth fighting for. With bad news knocking at my door, but I like it like that. We go all in and I'm falling, but I like it like that. And it's so wrong, but still so strong, but I like it like that. Now I'm catching fire, 'cause you take me higher. You know you're
Another thing I want to mention is, as you're seeing on the screen right now, and the silvery bag is like in a plastic protective sleeve. I guess it depends on what the seller wants. Me personally, I'd be a little worried actually selling through a ZZER warehouse because, I mean, it wasn't like overly busy when I went. I did go on a Sunday morning. But yeah, they're open. I think they're open like 7 days a week. And there's definitely like traffic. People go inside, they touch the bags. You do get gloves, and I suggest you wear them because like just out of respect, because you're touching like very expensive bags. But you do have tons of people like touching and feeling the bags. So some of the bags, especially the exotics, and chances are like new, like fresh from the boutique bags, they were in those like protective sleeves, which obviously makes it a little hard to actually like try on the bags and see how they work like crossbody and everything. I didn't try asking the staff if there's an option of taking the bags out to try them on properly. But yeah, just to let you know that some of the bags, generally, the more expensive ones, I think most of the MS bags were in those like protective sleeves, or like fresh from the boutique kind of bags. Those were in these plastic thingies.
Up here on cloud nine, and somehow we get it right every time. 'Cause these days we're partners in crime, and I like it like that. We go all in, and I'm falling, but I like it like that. And it's so wrong, but still so strong, but I like it like that. Now we catching fire, 'cause you take me higher. You know you're everything that I ever desire. And we crossing borders, no taking orders, and I like it like that. Even on broken watches, right 2 times a day. I took a chance and I was right in every way. For lack of anything better for me to say, hey, I like you like that, yeah, I like you like that.
I think it's safe to say that the Louis Vuitton section inside ZZER warehouse was one of the biggest sections when it comes to specific brands, and their selection of vintage bags did not disappoint. So if you're a vintage Louis Vuitton lover, especially like a Murakami lover, and you don't want to drop the big bucks on the new Murakami like 2025 release, I suggest you don't walk to ZZER warehouse, because look at the selection. And again, obviously, depending on how the individual seller decided to price their pieces, but in my personal opinion, on the pieces that I did check the price on, those prices are hard to beat, and definitely rival the like Japanese reseller market. Maybe, as I said, maybe even better than Japanese resellers in terms of the pricing. For me personally, like the initial Murakami collection was a little before my time, before I even started being interested in like even considering the idea of spending luxury money on handbags. So I don't have like a deep sentimental connection to the Murakami collection, but if you do, and you don't want to spend the extortionate prices on the new releases, I'd suggest you check out the pre-loved market. Some of the prices, like online, I've seen them go up quite a bit because tons of people, obviously with the new release, are considering purchasing some of those bags pre-loved. But on the pieces that I checked out in ZZER warehouse, the prices were really good. But even outside the vintage Louis Vuitton section, the selection was so vast. The range and variety of styles from Louis Vuitton, yeah, kid in a candy store, as I said, it was incredible.
I didn't know the love was war, then I saw you coming at me. Somebody that I used to know, somehow you're my enemy. I don't wanna fight no more. Origami on the floor, breaking stuff that's so sentimental. Push and pull is all we do. Life is hollow without you. Without you, without you, without you, without you.
Alright, so that's the Holy Trinity, as in Hermès, Chanel and Louis Vuitton out of the way. I really hope you're enjoying this video so far. I hope it's helpful. By the way, that should go without saying, but it doesn't hurt me mentioning it. If you have any questions, apart from like specific pricing information that wasn't included in this video because I wouldn't be able to share any like additional pricing information, like everything that I took photos of or like filmed, I included in this video. So unfortunately, I can't give you like specific information on like additional bag pricing, for instance. But if you have any other questions when it comes to ZZER warehouse and like how it works and everything, definitely pop your questions in the comment section below. But yeah, if you're enjoying it so far, if you find it helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. Editing this video with all the pricing information and the conversion was kind of a time-consuming feat. So if you appreciate my work, I would really appreciate a thumbs up on this video, and also consider subscribing. It's totally free for you, but it would mean so much to me. Anyway, so we're currently looking at Fendi, and I mean, I could like rinse and repeat and say that about every brand. The selection was insane. Tons of peekaboos, tons of baguettes, like special baguettes, but also like regular baguettes in the Zucca print and like regular Napa leather. The selection was incredible.
I'm a little bit naughty, I'm a little bit too consumed, but every part of my body is telling me to run away from you. Come a little bit closer, yeah, yeah. Come a little bit closer, yeah. You're a little bit crazy. It's been days, but you never change. What's love got to do with it? He comes around, better not that stuff.
Next off, let's look at Bvlgari. For some reason, I focus on lots of like exotics and out there color combinations, but let me show you that while obviously the selection of Bvlgari bags wasn't as vast as Louis Vuitton, for instance, they still had tons of bags and also more like neutral, regular, solid colors. But yeah, the selection was great. And I mean, that also applies to like the pre-loved market in general. When it comes to Bvlgari, they don't necessarily like hold their value that much, but like even compared to like Vestiaire Collective prices, again, on most of the Bvlgari bags that I did check out, the prices were definitely lower than like on the European resale market, for instance.
You're a little bit selfish. You get mad every time you lose. You can't take me with you. I'm scared you're gonna blow your fuse. Come a little bit closer, yeah. I can really start over, yeah. In the back of my mind, there's someone waiting on me. You're just wasting my time because you're scared and lonely. Finally got some closure, yeah. I can finally start over, yeah. So all my ladies who got a brother that doesn't treat them right, put your finger right in his face and tell that man bye-bye. I'm too fly, I'm too fly. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Here's to the memories. Cheers to who used to be. Your friend said that you left me. I'm glad that's what you believe. So all my ladies who got a brother that doesn't treat them right, put your finger right in his face and tell that man bye-bye. I'm too fly, I'm too fly. Oh, bye-bye, bye-bye.
The Bottega Veneta section was definitely one of the most colorful ones. Their leathers just take colors so beautifully. Anyway, so huge range of basically all of the standards, like classic bags. Obviously, there were tons of like cassette bags, which used to be like fairly hyped a couple of years ago. But anyway, quick look at Ferragamo. I didn't like spend a ton of time there because, yeah, running low on basically any kind of battery. My phone battery, my like vlogging camera battery. So a quick look at some Ferragamo pieces, and we're at Issey Miyake. Actually, I did come across an Issey Miyake pop-up in Beijing. I think it was in the Sanlitun Taikoo Li kind of area. That was super interesting as well. Looking back, especially like now calculating and like doing the conversion, looking back, I think I should have purchased an Issey Miyake bag just like for the fun of it. It's not really a brand that gets talked about that much, at least not like on mainstream luxury YouTube, I guess. guess, unless I'm missing something, which is very well possible. Anyway, so let's look at some jewelry. Their jewelry section was massive. It was a little tricky to like zoom in and get like an idea of the price because they were all behind glass cabinets. There were tons of stuff ready to help you, but yeah, tons of Chanel earrings, which I do have a soft spot for. I literally couldn't decide. I do have a soft spot for anchors as well. That like all of the anchor pieces for the most part are either like some kind of cruise collection or the Paris Hamburg Métiers d'Art collection from 2017-2018. So I was really tempted. Also tons of like very hyped pieces. That was sometimes reflected in the price, but sometimes same applies to the bags. As with basically anything inside ZZER warehouse, some of those prices were really, really good. But yeah, also like they didn't just have Chanel costume jewelry, they had basically any type of like fine jewelry, tons of VCA bracelets and like necklaces, Hermès fine jewelry, everything behind like glass cabinets. Again, kid in a candy store. The selection was so great. If you're used to looking at maybe maximum 2 trays of earrings inside a Chanel boutique, compare that to like maybe not thousands, but like hundreds of Chanel earrings. Also, they had a massive selection of very like yellow gold colored vintage Chanel jewelry, which some of those pieces are a little gaudy. I wouldn't personally wear them, but if you're a vintage Chanel jewelry lover, you would have loved it. Anyway, they also had like a couple of like bag charms and everything, other like tiny little knickknacks, silk scarves, obviously ties. There were so many pieces and even like full-on categories that I didn't get around to filming. They also had a huge selection of sunglasses, for instance, SLGs, obviously. They also had like a tiny section of like TBE energy bags, basically, so very tiny ones.
Maybe I was confused, or did you feel it too? In that room, it suddenly just felt like it was me and you. Cause I forgot about your friend, what's his name again? I really can't recall a single thing of what he said to me. It was just like waking up from a fever dream. When I found out that you have someone else and that she knows about me. What a waste on such chemistry. But if we could the rules, you would be with me. If I'm not supposed to think about you like this, then universe up. Cause every single thought leaves your name on my lips. Universe up. Wish I could cut myself loose, but I hold on to you. Now I'm in your city, wasting time. Oh God, I wish you knew.
Okay, so that was such an insane experience. I'm so glad I went. Granted, I spent a lot more time in there than I had kind of like allocated or planned for, considering that I only have a limited period of time left in Shanghai. Today is actually my last, somewhat-ish my last day. Tomorrow we're gonna go to Disneyland, so I won't be spending any amount of time in Shanghai actually. So yes, I did spend close to 3 hours inside there, and I could have easily spent a lot more time in there. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I'm gonna catch you in one of my next videos. Bye.